Hey there, I'm Christopher Macor from Homeless Geeks, and welcome to Meditation Happy Hour, where I share meditations, processes, perspectives, both traditional and modern. And it happens on Friday, uh, around 11 a.m. Mountain Time. And today I want to share um, an extension of a fundamental meditation called Soul Kernel, which I discovered over a year ago. I was in the hospital 11 days and I needed a way to bring my soul concretely into my body in order to rise to the occasion. And Soul Kernel is a four-element meditation that does that for me. Uh, what I'm sharing this week is an extension. It has two parts, and they're both fairly simple, um, and they both honor the fundamental nature of the soul kernel. And the two elements are emotions and which uh, and the other is space. And so the name of this extension is schemos, Skemos, right? Emo for emotions and S for space, schemos. Now, I want to tell you why these two extensions have come in, and yeah. So I've been working for several years now with really several decades with in terms of the emotional part of it, with two practices which kind of correlate, and they both have emotional counterparts. One is Jinshin Jitsu, which is a Japanese healing system, and the other is five movement practice by Gabrielle Roth. And in both of those, there's the suggestion of five primary emotions, and those are excitement, determination, surrender, joy, and peace. And I'll go into the flip sides of those later. But as I've been working with these, I realized that there's two more fundamental, even more fundamental emotions in the human experience, and those two are love and awe. And so with those seven emotions, I realized that I could have a practice, a weekly practice where I tune into each of those emotions on a particular day. In other words, on Monday, we have excitement, Tuesday, joy, Wednesday, surrender, Thursday, um, let me start again. Monday, excitement, Tuesday, um, determination, Wednesday, surrender, Thursday, joy, Friday, peace, Saturday, love, and Sunday, awe. So that's a layer that I'm bringing in, and I'll go through all the whole meditation in just a few minutes, and then the other part that I'm bringing in is I was on a Zoom meeting call, And this is a group that meets once a month, and it's a group led by a man who was a student of John Bennett, who was a student of Gurdjieff. And Gurdjieff was responsible for bringing what's called the fourth way spiritual practice to the West, and he's also responsible for originating the Enneagram, which is um, a geometric figure that and when I speak of the Enneagram and Gurdjieff, I speak of the ancient Enneagram, which is um, the Enneagram has been sort of usurped by typology, which is really not a bad thing. It's just that that's kind of the only way that people know the Enneagram, whereas the Enneagram is much deeper and much broader than just typology. It's a container for any system of knowledge, any complete system of knowledge. So anyway, this meeting, there was a part of the meeting where we were invited to share things that ordinarily don't get shared. And this woman started sharing about space and how space is this, ubiquitous thing that it's the context for all the content that we experience, as humans. And I just happened to, be in the ripe state of mind, and I realized that space was spirit. It was synonymous with spirit. I have this absolute faith that what I experience is an intersection of matter and spirit, and yet it's sometimes hard to actually identify and experience the spirit. And I realized, well, here it is. It's everywhere. It's all around us. It's the container for our experience. And so I saw that to bring that into this fundamental meditation of the soul kernel was the extension was that the soul kernel, the fundamental nature of the soul kernel could be honored, and the expansion of that could happen simultaneously. So what I'm going to do is give an instruction in how to do this meditation, and then we'll do the meditation. And each one of these elements is a meditation in itself. So if you are not familiar with any of this stuff, or even more so, if you are not even a meditator, what I would recommend is to go to my Core, my Wholeness Geeks page on Facebook. And there's many meditations there, videos like this, going more into depth on the soul kernel meditation and such. But for right now, just experience the instruction, just do the best you can, and see what you get. So we start out with the Dantian. The Dantian is the physical center of the body. It's 3 fingers below the navel, 3 fingers in, and it's also called one point in Aikido. Dantian is from Tai Chi, or from Chinese Chinese healing arts. So, like I said, 3 fingers in, 3 fingers down, below the navel, and 3 fingers in. So it's actually kind of backed by the sacrum. Anyway, that we put our mind in the Dantian. Now we're going to anchor our attention there with a cycle of the body meditation object. I see that there's 3 cycles in the body that can be meditations objects. The one most people are familiar with is respiration. But then there's sensation, and then there's a subset of sensation, which is pulsation. And the most obvious, biggest form of pulsation in our body is the heart beating. But a lot of people have trouble. You ask them, "Well, feel your heart," and it's like, I can't really feel it beating. What I found is that there is there is a place. It's called the xiphoid process, and it's so you have your breastbone, right, and then the bone ends here, and right below it there's a soft spot. That's the xiphoid process. And if you put your fingers there, if I put my fingers there, I can feel my pulse. It's very obvious. In fact, if I stand in front of a mirror with my shirt off, I can actually see the skin moving there. So anyway, that's if you're tuning into the pulse, that's a good place to start. But what we're going to do is we're going to bring that pulse down to the dantian, 3 fingers below the navel, 3 fingers in, and we're going to feel the pulse in the dantian. So that's the second element. The third element is we're going to use a symbol, a geometric symbol, the 6-pointed star, also called the Star of David, the Seal of Solomon, this interlacing triangles. The 6-pointed star is it's a symbol of the balance between spirit and matter, between involution and evolution. But we're going to be using it as a yantra, right? So you've heard the word mantra. Mantra is a repeating sound. Yantra is a repeating visual. And the visual, the repeating of the visual are the sides, the 6 sides of these interlacing triangles, right? So what we're going to do down in the dantian is we're going to focus on that, the upward facing triangle, the base of that, the right side, the left slanting side. Then we're going to go to the base of the downward facing triangle, the right slanting side, and then the left slanting side. And if you notice, we're moving the upward facing triangle, which is a symbol for evolution of matter going back to spirit. We're moving counterclockwise, which is the direction of dissolution or the dissolution of matter. And then we're going clockwise in the downward facing triangle, which is the symbol of involution, of matter of spirit coming into matter. And we're moving clockwise because that is the direction of involution, of moving into matters clockwise. So we're going to, the thing is we're going to be doing this down in the dantian, and we're going to be using the pulse to drive the movement around these sides of the triangles. In other words, put your attention on the lower one, you wait to feel the pulse there. And once you feel the pulse, then you wait, you go move to the next and wait to feel the pulse. So there's a kind of surrendering to the pulse. We're not like just, forcing our way around. We're actually waiting for the confirmation of the pulse in our body to drive the movement around the side of the triangle. So that's 3 elements. And then we're going to add a mantra, a repeating sound. And the mantra is Om Mani Padme Hum. That's 6 syllables. So it correlates with the 6 sides of the triangle. Om Mani Padme Hum is Hindu in origin, and it essentially means the whole universe is found within the center of our being. Om Mani Padme Hum. But we're not saying it out loud, because I find that when I say it out loud, then it's hard to feel the pulse. So we're saying it silently. down in the dantian. So that's the soul kernel. Okay, so that's the first four elements. The fifth element, the emotions. Since today is Friday, we're gonna do peace. Okay, so we're doing, um, we're gonna feel a sense of peace, and without losing the anchor of the dantian, we're gonna just kind of let that radiate and radiate out and radiate in. Feeling peace throughout our being. So that's the emo part of schemos. And then the last part, the space part. So now we're just going to allow that to extend without losing the anchor of the dantian. We're going to let that extend out into space as far as you can imagine. Out in front, out to the sides, out back, up, down, 360 degrees of space, of spirit. The matter of this soul kernel and these emotions exchanging with spirit. So that's the meditation. And we're going to do this practices for 3 minutes and 33 seconds. And then I'll come back and give some notes and talk about a few other things. So without further ado, let's go ahead and begin. Okay, we're back. And a couple of notes. You probably saw me kind of jostling around a bit. I call that jolting. And jolting occurs, for me, it occurs when it's like I'm extending my consciousness and it comes like it kind of downloads into my body. And there's like this jolting. So it's actually a good thing. It's a sign that there's like expansion going on. Um, and in general, there's this just this sense of exchanging with spirit. It's like anchored in the soul kernel, the soul of the body. The individual soul is exchanging with the universe. And why that's important is because I believe we are divine humans. Human is a two-syllable word. Man. Hu is an Egyptian word that means divine man, divine mammal. We have the humans have the capacity to embody universal consciousness, to identify with the whole universe and to embody that identification. Uh, that's our heritage, and that's where we are evolving to, and we need to evolve through the collectivity of our species, and that's sort of the big hump that we're struggling to hurdle currently. um, so the this and I guess both the emotions and the space, they're like two levels of expansion of you're anchoring the soul, the individual soul, and the emotion. It's becoming the emotions. It's becoming the it's refining from physical to emotional, which is a refinement of experience. Emotional experience. It's still matter in a way, but it's less. It's not physical matter. It's more whatever that is. That uh, the emotional. You can still feel it, but it's a different level. It's a finer level of human experience. And then space or spirit is even a further refinement of the human experience. And we're extending from the physical center of the body into this in and we're actually setting up a pathway for evolution. And I call this there's in I have a a project called the Macor project, and there is a full meditation of which this is a part, and it's called the full tilt meditation. And in the full tilt meditation, there's several elements which are what I call off ramps. In other words, there's the involutionary elements in the full meditation, and then there are the evolutionary elements, and this is and the evolutionary are more like off ramps off the highway of of matter into more of a non-individual perspective. Um, yeah, I think that's about it. We talked about how the emotions derive from the five movement practice of Gabriel Roth, and from the Jinshin Jitsu, um, Japanese healing practice. Um, and I'll share that they actually, the five actually correlate with five fingers. Um, and the 5 fingers correlate with 5 organs of the body. So we have the excitement, and that's the kidneys, excitement. And the flip side of excitement is actually fear, right? So then we have the liver, determination, and the flip side of determination or liver, you could probably guess, is anger. And then we have the lungs, the ring finger, the middle finger is anger, the index finger is the kidneys, the middle finger is determination or anger or the liver, and then the ring finger is the lungs. Grief is the flip side of surrender. And then we have the pinky, which is the heart, and the emotion, the positive emotion, which is joy, and the flip side of that is pretense. And then we have the thumb, which is the stomach organ, and the positive emotion is peace, and the flip side of that is worry. So those are the correlations, and the correlation to the 5 movement. So the index finger or the excitement is circles. The middle finger or the liver and the determination, that's percussive. And then we have the ring finger or the surrender, that's chaos. And then we have the pinky or the joy, that's the lyrical. And then we have the thumb, peace, the stomach, and that's silence, or silence is the audio part of it. It would be the stillness. Those are the 5 movement correlations. So a lot of information there. This is, once again, I'm Christopher Macor from Wholeness Geeks, and that's spelled WHOLENESS, Geeks, GEEKS, wholenessgeeks.com and Wholeness Geeks Facebook group. So if you would like to know more dialogue, share your own meditations, go to the Wholeness Geeks group and join that. And 2 other groups you might be interested in is the Gaiacor group. These are both Facebook groups, and then the Welcome to the Shift show group. So thanks for listening about the schemos meditation, and just send the message or something, or join the group if you want to get in touch or know more. Thanks again.